So today is Tuesday, the 23rd of August, 2011, and it was my 7th day here in New York City. And so I've been here for a full week now, and I can honestly say I've enjoyed every single minute that I've been here. And if you've never been to New York City, or even if you have, I urge you to come and visit. You definitely will not be disappointed. It's a great place to visit. So much to do, so much to see. The only sad part is when you got to go home, which is going to be happening for me tomorrow evening. But anyways, I'm going to tell you about what I did during my day, my 7th day here in New York City. And I brought my camera along with me all day, and I took little clips of all the stuff that I saw. And as I'm talking, I'm going to edit in little clips of the things that I did. So my day started relatively early again. It started about 9 a.m. And I got things going a little bit faster this morning. I thought ahead yesterday. I bought some breakfast ahead of time that I could eat in my room. I was saying yesterday that when you go to a restaurant and order breakfast here in New York City, it's not exactly the same as what they consider breakfast, as what I would consider breakfast in a restaurant. For them, breakfast is just coffee and a bagel or something like that to eat, where I'm more accustomed to going to a restaurant and getting bacon and eggs and sausage and potatoes and all those sorts of things that more of an English-style breakfast. But anyway, so since I figured that I wasn't really going to get the sort of breakfast that I'm more accustomed to here, or if I did, it would be more difficult to find, I figured I'd just buy something from the convenience store that I could eat quickly in the morning and help me get a faster start on the day. So what I had was a little bottle of orange juice and 2 Danishes, a cinnamon Danish and a cream cheese Danish. And they were good, and they filled me up and got me ready for my day. So as I was saying yesterday, I didn't get to go to the top of the Empire State Building because didn't want to rush through it because I needed to get to the late show at David Letterman by a certain time to give me a good chance of getting to watch the show. So I skipped that. I postponed that yesterday, and I moved it, rescheduled it for the very first thing this morning. That was what I did right after I ate my breakfast, and so I needed to get up to 33rd Street, where the Empire State Building is. So to get there, I took 6th Avenue, which is also known as the Avenue of the Americas, and it's an avenue that runs north. And so I took that, and I think it had bike lanes on part of the way along. It was, a relatively good road. It's always good to try the different avenues and see them all along the way, because you never know what you're going to see that you hadn't thought of going to see, especially. But anyway, so I got to the Empire State Building relatively early, maybe 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit after 10. And I locked my bike up, and I got in line to buy my ticket. And when I first walked into the building, I was really impressed by the lobby. Right now, they're actually doing a whole lot of renovation in the Empire State Building. There were signs all over talking about it. They're trying to make it a more sustainable building, and they kept saying that they're trying to lead the way in sustainability for buildings. So that's pretty cool. That's actually what the industry that the job that I'm starting in September is about. So that's pretty cool. They're doing a project just like that right at the Empire State Building. So anyways, so what you do is you stand in line and you buy your ticket. Some people buy their tickets ahead of time, but I don't think that really saved them too much time. I just bought my ticket really quickly, and it was really fast and easy. So for an adult, the cost to go to the regular observation deck, which is on the 86th floor, it cost $22. And they convinced me, that the guy that was kind of standing in the line, convinced me that it was worthwhile to also buy the Statue of Liberty souvenir map, which is a really cool idea, I think. It shows you what you're looking at in all of the different directions when you're standing on the building. I purposely saved the Empire State Building, so it would be one of the very last things that I did while I was here in New York. And I did that on purpose because I thought that if I went on my first day, I'd be looking around and saying, I wonder what that is. Oh, I don't know what that is. And by the end of my trip, I've seen so many buildings, I've seen so many different parts of town, that I can definitely look over and say, oh, I've been there. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, that's what that looks like from above. oh, there's my hotel, and all those sorts of things. After you sort of get your bearings and know where things are, you can really appreciate seeing it from up there a lot more, at least I think, anyways. So anyways, I think the map was a worthwhile investment for me. Again, there's a lot of things on here that I already knew, but there's some others that I looked in and I saw, and I thought, oh, that's cool to know about that. And it also sort of cued me to realize other things that I should be looking for. And I had my maps with me as well of New York, and there's other things I was flipping through trying to figure out where things would be, and was trying to find other things on the maps. But anyway, so after I bought my ticket, you have to go through security again, and it's really tight security. When I left in the morning, I made sure, as I did yesterday, to bring just the bare necessities with me. I didn't want to have anything extra in there that I didn't need, so I didn't bring my bike tools with me, which is a little bit risky being far away from your bike tools. If something went wrong, it's a lot of walking you'd have to do, or you have to take a taxi or something like that to get back to the hotel to get the problem fixed. But I ended up being fine without my bike tools. But when I did go through security, they did give me a hard time about my the little keychain that the hotel gives you. It has this big, well, it's got a really big thing that says the Jane on it, and that's just made out of metal. And then on the other end, it's got this other thing, this big long brass bar, which is used for turning on the electricity in the room. When you first walk into the room, only one of the lights works until you put this part of your key into the wall, which then energizes the room. And I guess it's they call it an energy savings thing, or a green initiative, but I think it really saves their power bill a lot if it prevents people from leaving their air conditioning on and the TV on and all their lights on when they're not there. But anyways, they didn't really like that very much of the Empire State Building, but when I explained to them what this big metal bar was actually for, they understood, and they let me go with it, and it wasn't a problem. So to get to the top, you take an elevator, and it's quite a fast elevator. The elevator you get onto only goes, so it stops at the second floor where you get on, and all the numbers on the panel, it only has it skips from 2 all the way up to, I think, 80, and then it goes 82, 81, 82, 83, all the way up to 86, which is where the observation deck is. And when you're riding on the elevator, it moves very fast, and you can feel your ears popping, and everyone was mentioning that their ears were popping. And well, you do climb quite a high distance in a very short amount of time. So the 80th floor is like a little museum. Part of it is, at least, and it has lots of panels on the walls, and it talks about all the construction things. And I did mention a lot of the things that I already knew about, a lot of like fun facts that I already knew about the Empire State Building that I read about. But I learned some more today, or I saw some more that I forgot to mention yesterday. Some of which I already knew, but I mean, it was really at the time this building was breaking all sorts of records. So obviously it was breaking the record for height. It broke the record for like the amount of office space it had. So like the Chrysler Building and the 40 Wall Street Building were built right before it, and they were just they beat the record for height, and then the Empire State Building came and blew them out of the water and was like 100 feet taller than them. So it definitely won for height, but it also really won for the amount of office space that was inside it. It had much more office space than any other building in the world. One of the panels said that the Empire State Building had more office space than the Chrysler Building and 40 Wall Street combined. So that's definitely impressive, and it really set a lot of records on the amount of time that it took to build. Like building the main building, like it took 11 months. It started in May of one year when they first started putting the steel up, and they had all of that steel finished and windows in and all the stonework on the outside all finished by April of the next year, which is really setting records on speed for building the biggest building in the world. And they said that during the peak time when it was really moving, like right in the middle, when you got the guys at the top putting the steel up and the people below putting the metal trim on, the people below putting all the bricks on, when they all were working at the same rate, the building was rising at a rate of about 1 floor per day. And I mean, that's actually amazing compared to the way they do it today, where it's probably more like 1 floor a week, or maybe 2 floors a week, or something like that. and just really impressive. Another really interesting fact about the Empire State Building, which I did know but I didn't mention yesterday, is that the very top of the Empire State Building. So it's an office building that's kind of square until you get to very near the top, and it's got this big mast on the top and a little antenna on the very top. And that mast is what they call is called the mooring mast. And the reason it's called that is because it was originally designed for, I don't know how much there was actually thought about when it was being designed, but that's what they say it was for. They say that it was for airships, so like blimps, zeppelins, the big, helium-filled or hydrogen-filled balloons that are just up in the air. And the idea was that you could have, when they thought before, airplanes were really a big thing, they had these airships, and they thought that might be the way of transporting in the future. And when the Empire State Building was built, they were thinking that you could dock one of these big, massive blimps right in the middle of the city, right on top of the Empire State Building, and people could get out of there and come down the building, and then they're right in the middle of Manhattan. And it would be better than an airport because you'd be right in the middle of the city. And they never actually, well, that obviously never really happened. They don't use that to this day. And I think when it was first built, they made some attempts at doing that, but it never really worked the way they wanted it to. The winds were always too high when they were up there, so they didn't do that. So anyways, after you're on the 80th floor, you get on another elevator, which takes you all the way to the top to the 86th floor, which is the observation deck, where all of the the famous place that everyone goes.